Hello everybody, it's Sarah and it is right now past 11 p.m. and I got a sudden urge to film, a spurt of motivation if you will, so that's what we're doing right now. And if you're wondering why my shelves are pretty empty behind me, I decided to, after this video, film all my finished series on my shelves video. So yeah, the books that are usually on my shelves are right now stacked beside me in a big fat mess. But that is a story for another day, at least for you, because as I said, for me, I will still deal with this today, but you'll get the video in a few days. That is what I mean. Today I want to talk about, or right now I want to talk about which books I have read so far in December and also which books I am currently reading. And I gotta be honest, in December there have been more days probably where I haven't read anything than there have been days where I have read something. Because of that, I have so far only finished 3 books, which for me is not that much. Those 3 books still got me over 200 books read this year, so that's something, I guess. But if you have seen my reading and channel goals video, you will know that I'm actually not happy with how much I read this year, because it means that my memories of a lot of books are very vague. Let's say it like that. But anyways, right now let me tell you about the 3 books that I have read so far in December. And let's start with The Tropic of Serpents by Mary Brennan, which is the second book in the Memoirs by Lady Trent series. This series follows Isabella Camhurst, who lives in what is kind of a secondary world equivalent of Victorian England, and she is a gentle-born lady there. So Isabella's biggest dream is to research dragons, because yes, those exist in this world, and to become a well-known naturalist. However, she has quite a few obstacles in a way because of her birth, because she is born as a woman, and just as in Victorian England, in this world as well, there are some limitations upon the women as a gender, because of course there are. Now in the second book we're traveling to the in-world equivalent of Africa, or Western Africa, and I gotta be honest, when I started the book I was a bit hesitant because I knew that there would be some chances that this would read more like a 19th century, you know, naturalist travel journal, travel novel type story. And you know, I just thought that there might be some chances, even though I trust Marie Brennan because she does have a background in anthropology, but I knew that there might be some chances of there being some, you know, Orientalist viewpoints that might have slipped through in the book. However, I am very happy to say that I thought that that wasn't the case at all, and that Marie Brennan very much managed to toe the line between acknowledging colonialism and, you know, talking about colonial narratives, talking about colonial dynamics, not perpetuating those dynamics but questioning them, but also at the same time she managed to not glorify Isabella as a character, and Isabella didn't turn into this suddenly also aware of colonialism and of the harmful dynamics character, but she still was a very, very realistic character who just does not care at all about social conventions, which means she does lend herself to them also questioning those conventions and to just accepting the conventions of other cultures. So I just thought that was really, really well done in this book, and because of that I cannot wait to see what the series will bring me in the future. The second book I finished was my fairy tale book of Legends from Brittany by Jan Brequillien. And yeah, I finished this. I understood about half of what I read, and it's a French fairy tale book. I cannot really say that much about it, so let's just move on. The last book I finished so far was Dark Apprentice by Val Neal, which is the first book in the Fall of Magic series. And this was also the buddy read for December for my book club of Queens, Witches and Valkyries, and that book club is all about focusing on reading adult fantasy written by women and genderqueer people. And every month we better read one book. I actually just yesterday for you, today for me, uploaded my, what's it called? The poll for the book for January, for the buddy read for January. I accidentally only put the poll on 24 hours instead of 4 days as I usually do, but it might still be ongoing when you see this video. So yeah, just if you still wanna vote, go check out the Twitcher in the description box down below. But now back to this book. This book was so fun. I will try not to gush too much right now because I will upload a full review, but basically this is paranormal urban fantasy and we follow two characters. One of them is Medea, who is an immortal magician, and usually she has always taken on apprentices, but because she's immortal, she has tended to attract more apprentices that are interested in the darker parts of magic rather than, you know, healing or nature magic. And so because of that, those apprentices sooner or later always try to kill her because they cannot help but want to be the best dark magician ever, and they can't do that as long as Medea is still alive. So Medea has had to always kill her apprentices until she has vowed to no longer take any on. Now the second character that we follow is Nikolai, who is someone who has aspirations to become the most powerful dark magician that there is, and because of that he wants to start an apprenticeship with Medea, and he tries to get her to take him on as her apprentice. And so from that point onwards, shenanigans ensue and it's a lot of fun. Now there are a few things that I did want to mention about this book in this wrap up on my thoughts, and the first thing is that the rep in this book in terms of mental health is very unique, if I can put it like that. First of all, Medea is autistic, and Medea is also an own voices character because the author herself is autistic. And then secondly, Nikolai is a psychopath, as in he has antisocial personality disorder. And the author did work with someone who is a psychopath as well as with a psychologist on writing this book to get the representation of Nikolai as well done as possible. So yeah, just you don't get to see an official psychopath as rep in a book all that often, so I did really find it very interesting. Then in terms of my thoughts on this book, again, I enjoyed it a lot. I had a lot of fun with it. In terms of the central trope, I guess, or the central story of grumpy old mage takes on younger apprentice, that story isn't unique. However, what Val Neal does with it really is, and I really appreciated that. Medea was such a lovable, enjoyable character. I care about her so much, okay? She just wants to like study things and to be left alone, but also she wants to pass on her knowledge because she doesn't want the knowledge to die. And it's just, I love her so much. Nikolai as well, he was a very interesting character. He was sometimes very frustrating to be in the head of because the way he interprets things, of course, is, you know, very unusual for how I would interpret things, and that sometimes for me was a bit frustrating, but in a good way, not in a like I am not enjoying myself because of that way. So yeah, but I will tell you the rest of my thoughts once I upload my review, film and upload my review. So the last thing left to do for this check-in is to talk about what I'm currently reading. First I have hiccups. First I have The Untold Story by Genevieve Cogman, which is the newest book in the Invisible Library series, and I have only read 2 chapters so far, so I'm not even 20 pages in yet. Then I have started The Veiled Throne by Ken Liu, which is the 3rd book in the Dandelion Dynasty, and here I am a bit farther in. I'm about 120 pages in, but since this is 1,000 pages long, this is probably percentage-wise about the same amount as with this one. I mean, okay, this one is a bit less, but you know what I mean. I have started my reread of Kushiel's Avatar by Jacqueline Carey, which is the third book in the Kushiel's Dart series. I am also about 220 pages into this one, which for this book is a bit more of a chunk than for The Veiled Throne. And then I am about halfway through my copy of Grimm's Fairy Tales, the complete version of Grimm's Fairy Tales. And once I have this done, I will be at my TBR 0 for the year. So yeah, that was it. That was all the books I have read so far and I am currently reading in December. Tell me your thoughts on the books that I mentioned in this video in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, maybe think about giving me a thumbs up and also maybe subscribing. All the links to my social media are in the description box down below, as well as the book club that I mentioned earlier, also in the description box down below. Join us on Discord. Also, the book club, like the Discord, will be used to talk about the read-along of A Chorus of Dragons, which I start in January. So if you're interested in that as well, go and check out the Discord. And yeah, with all of that said, I hope I'll see you soon. Bye!